So they can abuse that by Timber having a much stronger early game. Pango also depends on some big timings, and especially Maelstrom Pango, which we assume he's going to go for this game, is much worse at having impact early than the Diffusal Blade.
That's true. That's true. I always forget about the Diffusal Blade having been like the pick and the tempo for Pango.
I still think you should go Diffusal first on Sacred though. Because in the early game, you're not concentrating on stopping the Phantom Lancer, but rather the Timber Saw and the Ember, right? And I think there's a lot you can... I think it's much better to Diffusal Blade so you can deal with them first. So I would be okay with that. However, afterwards, probably Diffusal Blade into Maelstrom. Depends on how greedy they think that is, right? Dark Mago is a really selfless mid laner, at least on Tiny. Most of the heroes know, but on his Tiny he is. And I think that allows Sacred to be a bit greedier this game if they want to.
Cheeky ward being put down here. Panda would have scouted that. He's very confident then, where Dire got vision. Tempest, on the other hand, going to be a bit on the back foot here. They do have Wu, however, with the Sentry. I always, the mid lane matchups, it's always important to make sure your Ember can really use Slight and doesn't really have to juke too much.
Yep. Against Tiny, it's whatever, right?
Against Tiny, it's whatever, but actually, I would say Rubik, when he's able to approach you from Fog, can be quite deadly when he rotates mid lane against a lot of these Spirit-type heroes.
I am curious as to what Sebas is going to go for. Like, will he go for the Flame Guard build just to avoid the Tiny damage? But that's really slow if that's the case. I know that's a preferred build on mid laner Embers and Pubs, for example, because you farm more. But I think in competitive that might be a little bit too slow.
Is that John? No.
No. Oh
I saw glasses, and I was like...
I'm pretty sure it's Armel.
Saw it out of the corner of my eye. I'm confused.
We live in SCA.
Every time I see a man with sunglasses on...
Let it be known we live in SCA, guys. We've
it's true.
3 years.
It is 1 a.m.
Yes, it is 1 a.m. exactly. Yeah. So, there's yeah.
No excuses.
No excuses.
No breaks given here. We're on the no break stream. All gas and no breaks here for Dark Mago. Is the tempo he sets when he gets his first item, Blink Dagger. He literally will just blink into no vision. He is a madman, and it's... I don't know. It's something truly amazing to see as we see Sebas go for the first point in Flame Guard.
Okay, first point in Flame Guard. I'm interested to see how many points he puts into it. I feel like that Mao can just win this matchup. There was an interesting tweet that I talked about earlier. Oh, what is Cut You? He is just chasing. Okay, he's just making sure Matthew can't be in the lane. But that's fine for Matthew because the Pango versus PL matchup is good. There was an interesting tweet where Clairvoyance, a coach in Dota scene, ex-coach from Boom, for example, you guys remember him. He was talking about the passive pressure some heroes exert, right? And I think the fact that Tiny, for example, forces you into a Flame Guard build is a really good passive pressure that stops the Ember from being as impactful early, allows Tiny more time to farm that Blink Dagger, right? So if he can do that, he's literally doing nothing and still winning that lane by just forcing him into a slower build. We'll see, though, what Sebas has to go for. He is the Ember spammer, after all.
Yeah, Panda doing a good job at least securing some tower for Pakaz under tower. Yeah, just a bit more regen here. He'll be fine. Level 3 usually is where Morphlings tend to be pretty safe, but of course with Panda nearby, especially now that he can pull the safe or the small camp, ought to reestablish some control. Oh, nice job on Slotting though. That's a little move you make. You can't hit that one if you don't have vision. So either you find a ward or you win the D-ward battle quite easily. It's a nice play.
Because Panda also went for level 1 Aphotic Shield, right? You don't really have any threat potential against Sladin unless he starts hitting you. So he might consider taking a second point in Curse. I would consider, considering how this lane is going, right?
That's true, but with a Morphling, the points, even the first point in Mystic Coil is so valuable.
That's true.
It's really hard to pass it up. But you're completely right. It would at least give you a little bit of zoning potential versus Slavin.
Look at him now. He's like, oh, get away from the lane, Draken. Draken's not really phased by this. At least with the silence, you threaten the Morphling maybe bursting him down, but no. He went for the Mist Coil. I mean, it makes sense. He's just going to make sure Pakaz is like, okay, lane.
Yep. He's like, Pakaz, you're not full HP. I got you. Come here. Pakaz like, shut up. I'm trying to last it. And he's like, yes, of course. My bad. I'm sorry. He says, shut up. Don't apologize.
Stop talking to me, Panda. Poor Panda is actually in a different Discord server than the rest of his team. But he hasn't noticed it yet.
Not yet, no.
The mid lane, though, is going pretty Sebas' favorite, so good for him, honestly. Early levels should be a little bit Ember favored before Tiny gets his skills. I am curious, though, what build did Sebas go for? Okay, so...
2-2.
Not full commitment to Flame Guard, but not into Sleight of Fist Searing Chains either. It's good, probably the best of both worlds, right? Make sure you don't get ganked, but at the same time, you're not slow, so you can actually gank early.
Yeah, I mean, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you don't need points in Searing Chains, I would say, with the supports you have.
Yeah, especially because it's going to be a bit more difficult to get kills even with Dom. That's a good amount of burst damage out from Sacred, who will collect the kill and first blood onto Katyu. That's going to be a nice little bit of gold into his pocket. Wonder what he's eventually going to build into. No hints yet as to what that first item will be, whether it'll be the Maelstrom or Diffusal. I'm honestly, like you said, I'm good with either this game.
Yeah.
I do think Diffusal's slightly riskier in the sense that if you start losing fights, it's a bit harder to farm with that item, but it does seem like that could pay off as well.
Yeah, so the case it would be like, do they think that Sacred is the only one that can deal with a PL early, right? If that's the case, they probably will go for Maelstrom. We'll see them go for Katyu here, Wu in the trees. They got lag, much like us.
Bit of server lag. Yeah, everyone's just clearing it up. Bit of lag. Make sure the admins who also lagged are in the know, in the loop.
Reason for pause!
Yep, as the admins here are keen to ask for, as I think they should everywhere, to be honest.
Yes.
Even if it's just for the record. Just
sometimes when I'm playing my pubs and someone pauses, I always just go...
Reason?
For pause.
For pause? Question mark?
And then they always go, door.
Yes.
That's the classic SCA, right?
Oh, the classic SA one is garbage truck is my favorite one. Where the garbage truck is driving down the street. It's very loud. I'm sorry.
Or in the case of Chris Luck, I have a call. Sacred chasing after Katyu, and they get him with a Fade Bolt. Sacred should still be fine, actually, against Swashbuckle with that magic stick, so he's not even going to be forced to use it.
Yeah, pretty difficult lane for Veno to find a lot of impact in, especially with Brown Boots here and a mobility spell. Well, the mobility spell, of course, on the Pango, and the Brown Boots on Matthew do make it difficult for him to get these efficient trades and all that stuff. Devas, though, with his build now, I believe that, yeah, third point to make that into the Sleight of Fist. Is feeling pretty good here. He's actually gotten some significant damage into the Tiny just with the value that the Blightstone gives you in this matchup.
And he menacingly putting his Ironwood Branch in front of the Ember, you know, always going to determine who's strongest. As they start attacking him, there's the Avatos combo. They throw the tree as well, but he realizes this is not the place to fight. Oh, he's considering it.
He's considering it, but so is Sebas, who's got another Sleight of Fist in a couple seconds.
I think he's baiting, pretend like there's a support behind him. I mean, Darkvalo, mind you. Sebas is just playing normal Dota.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there we go. He has a Fairy Fire still. Ooh. There's the Flame Guard, and that prevents Darkvalo from bursting him down. That's why those 2 points in Flame Guard are so valuable, as Matthew's forced to TP. Bottom lane, though, Pakaz in trouble. But he does still have the healing from Panda, so they're actually not going to even bother.
Yeah, and all these trees here have been cut. There's no quelling on either of these heroes. It's actually the kill is top lane. Sacred just gets the solo kill, to be honest, onto Kotaro. Wow.
Yeah, they're destroying that lane. The Venos having zero impact, as we mentioned, and as a result, the PL is suffering, because I feel like Venos have way too much of his experience. I guess you can't really leave him solo, but he hasn't really accomplished anything in lane either. So it's just been a lot of losses here.
Yep. Quick little avalanche to prevent the Remnant on through.
And range creep as well.
Yeah, here's a little bit of a pick-me-up, courtesy of Matthew. Get Dark Mago a little bit healthier, but he's got the bonus regeneration now. The Remnant, of course, Sebas is going to go ahead and top off and return back to lane, continue farming, continue fighting. Fairly close, though, fairly even in the mid lane in terms of CS and denies. And no big difference here.
Yeah.
6-minute rune, though, could go to Thunder. But it doesn't. It's going to be bottom and a DD rune for Sebas.
That's pretty impactful. He has Aura Corrosion as well. He can actually just rotate and pretty much gank any lane. I guess Morphling is a bit too hard. Top probably is the better lane here. Is that you? Oh, good scout.
Yep, good scout. Very good. I also do love this casual camp being blocked here. It's such an easy camp to stack. So it's just always nice when you are able to get a block off there.
Interesting choice by Sebas. He has to push the tower instead and farming a little bit more. But he's saving a double damage rune. We'll see what he does. Maybe he's waiting for Timber Chakram. That could be an option.
Fortunately, I don't think he has any stacks so far.
No.
Yeah, no stacks for him.
Oh, he has a small camp stack.
Okay.
Good for you, Sebas.
Good for you, Sebas. There it is. Get all the annoying debuffs from the small camp.
They're actually the worst things to fight against.
Especially early, they're so annoying.
Well, there's either you either get disarmed or broken. It's like, why? It's the two things I used to farm with.
Pretty much. Matthew? Oh, yeah, I don't know what he was expecting there. He's going to get spit on a little bit by the Plague Wards. But Kotaro continuing to feel the pain, actually, from Sacred continuously.
Yes, that is... They're continuing to continue that.
Yes. I just, you know, sometimes it's important to be redundant, so you over-explain your point.
That is the basis of my paneling, Richie.
Mine too.
Pakaz, that's why we do such a good pair.
Pakaz?
He could be in trouble. The silence is hurting him a lot. There's a rotation as well from Sebas. There's a double damage room. Pakaz, they're just going to continue to shift into strength. Waveform with the TP. They know they don't have any way to cancel this, so he's going to be perfectly fine. Panda, though, could be in trouble as that Sleight of Fist hurts so much with double damage. Panda, deny yourself, Panda! He knows he can't. He's just going to die to the double damage Sleight of Fist.
Not much he could have done there, unfortunately. But at least it's him who dies instead of Pakaz. The rotation down bottom, though, would and should is, in fact, going to net into Tempest collecting that tier 1 tower. But top lane, Rolling Thunder here. Nice job there on the little tower for a kill onto Katyu. And that should maybe be this tier 1 tower. Yeah, I thought it was going to TP away.
Yeah, we'll see. Is there Over Corrosion in the back? Oh, Darkmago's already going here for the Silas. I guess he got rid of his Flame Guard, but Darkmago does not have enough to burst him.
Has a haste rune, though. It's a bit
does?
scary in 5 more seconds when he has spells.
If I know Darkmago, he is going to go for it once he has the spells.
We'll see.
Oh, there's a rotation here. Darkmago actually assigned to farm creeps instead.
Oh,
Two modes of Darkmago.
He got the keen optic from the Kobold that he dug up.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, very nice.
That's next level play. Down bottom, though, they're chasing down after a Grimstroke, I believe. Or actually, it's a Tempest who's chasing down after Pakaz. A Chakram really hurts. And near the mid lane, they're doing an incursion here. The Tiny is going to be leading. It seems like they're going to catch the Venomancer. You will die. It's an okay kill. That's a 5 after all.
Bebas maybe looking for something on the way out, but is going to struggle. 8-minute rune was the haste for the Tiny, of course, so he's kind of just waiting around to see what he can get. Yes, he did use it for the kill.
Eh, could have been worse, honestly. Like, using the haste rune only for a kill on the Venom, I think Tempest is okay with this. They do have the slower draft, I guess, until Timbersaw.
Yeah, with a PL as well, right? He's not really joining fights. And I would say Thunder, speaking of that PL, quite happy if they could see the net worth chart to see him down at the bottom. Especially with Timbersaw not exactly vying for like the top slots right now in terms of CS and net worth, pardon. They're probably fairly happy with how this game is progressing for them so far, regardless of kill score. 5-1, I'd say the state of the early game is looking pretty decent for them here.
Does Sacred have Orb of Corrosion on him, by the way? Check. He does not. He's going for Diffusal.
He is going for Diffusal, though.
I do like that. I feel like overall you shouldn't worry so much about the PL early, and Diffusal Blade will stop the Timbersaw and Ember, so I don't mind that, especially because you won lane so hard. Like, I don't think you should have won the Morphling lane by that much, to be honest, but...
I mean...
With the Sebas rotating as early as he did, I feel like that lane should have been a bit easier, but...
I don't think it was that bad of a lane, was it? I mean, the Morphling 0-0-0, and the Abba's taking a death.
Sure, fair enough.
I just think that's what Abba does, right?
Yeah, just make sure the lane can't be lost. I guess that's fair.
I mean, I get what you're saying, though. That's not why you draft Timbersaw. You want Timbers to win their lanes. So I suppose in that way, the Abba was a decent solution, or did his role, right? Because they did pick the Timbersaw into this Abba.
And he did so the thing here is that the Timbersaw now took the tower, but now he can't really take over the enemy jungle as Timbersaws usually do, because honestly, Thunder Awaken is a little bit too scary, especially if the Tiny's off the map. Like, you just burst the Timbersaw. He couldn't farm enough to get the Hood of Defiance. And the most important thing with this Timbersaw is, notice how he actually went for a single Bracer here, just to be able to survive a little bit earlier. Not the most common thing on the Timbersaw. A good idea this game, but definitely will slow down the Hood, which is the big timing you're playing around to catch this Morphling.
Yeah, and for Prakaz, the name of the game here is to just get this Manta style online, the Dispel for Searing Change, the Dispel for Venomous Gale, the Ghost, most importantly, right, is going to be the big one.
Grimstroke's wife.
Is that what it is?
It is. It's Grimstroke's wife.
Aww.
He throws his wife at you. And look, Grimstroke holds no sorrow. It says in the thing, holds no sorrow for the downfall of his people, only for Yahweh, who was most dear to him. Does he feel even a semblance of longing?
Oh.
Who just, he misses her so much, he throws her at you.
Yeah, I mean, clearly not that much if he's like, oh, gosh, go talk to them, and then they get silenced because they can't even get a word in. Imagine how much he talks.
It just latches onto you, you gotta like beat her. Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that is literally what you do.
It's terrible, actually. Now I realize the implication, and it's awful. Get out of here, Dennis. Anyway, yeah. Grimstroke's wife aside, Sladin is having an okay early, but he doesn't have anyone to play with. Usually with the Spirit Bros, you have a really nice Inkswell targets, but the Abaddon completely prevents that, right? So the question for Tempest is, like, who makes the plays? Like, who now starts threatening Morphling's farm or Tiny? Timber, eventually?
It's a bit of an action. I mean, I think now we are about to hit this action as Drakin is going to take a quick reconnect to clear the lag goblins, but he does have the full Hood of Defiance on his way on top of a Bracer, as well as Soul Ring and Mana Boots. Lots of self-sustain, lots of Lots of durability versus the magic damage that Thunder will be bringing early, and he is just barely, no pun intended, undercutting the Tiny's Blink Dagger here by seconds of Dark Mago. So I believe we're about to see a little bit of action here. The big question mark, or I suppose the bigger question mark for me, is going to be how Katyu looks to actually find some impact this game. He just has brown boots on the way for him. I was hoping for his sake that this was the full... what's the item? That's not Glimmer Cape, the offensive Glimmer Cape in an AoE.
Veil Discord?
Veil of Discord, thank you very much.
Offensive Glimmer Cape.
Offensive Glimmer Cape, that's kind of basically what it is. Good toss back though, pre-Blink Dagger, and that's going to be Dark Mago getting a kill right before. This will make it even more difficult now for Tempest to find something. I know that they're playing 4v5.
That might be my
here's Blink delivered, Dark Mago. Oh, he doesn't have spells.
That might be my favorite thing you ever called an item before, which...
Yeah, offensive.
Oh, nice telekinesis. I don't think you kill him though.
Oh, the defusal.
Oh, never mind. Dark Mago's here. And that's the Blink Dagger reveal. And with the toss, he's dead.
And again, stolen Chakram.
Yep. Did he have Hood already on the Timber Saw?
It was on his way.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Wow, so bursting him through Hood is a pretty big deal there.
I don't believe he'd get the chance to activate Barrier, unfortunately, for him.
True, but that's where the Diffusal Blade comes into play, right? Like, Diffusal Blade is brutal against Timber Saw. So now that Timber Saw is not the hero you play around, like, who do you play around for Tempest? That is seriously an issue. Can PL go for a faster build? I don't think so. He's going for Diffusal Blade already. I don't know what's faster than that. I guess if you go Diffusal Blade... Oh, he's not. He went for Yasha first. Okay. That explains why, maybe.
That does explain why, as he is the target here for Smokeank. The Blink Bard from Dark Mago doesn't have Doppelganger, and that, of course, is the stolen Chakram of Matthew, who sets up for the kill onto Dark Mago. Very, very nicely done. And, yeah, that is the issue with PL is... You know, I don't think we saw this back in the day when we had, like, PL pretty much every single game. But a lot of the times he would actually, you know, get the first Manta and then Defusal. And in the games that he didn't, even when he ended up using that item effectively, back when it had the double Blade of Alacrity in it, now, of course, the recipe's changed. So I think this is even more of an issue these days. If you don't have that Yasha, you simply don't farm in between the skirmishes. It does become a problem for him.
Yeah, so they send Grimstroke back, so letting him will just die. Matthew with the Fate Bolt. Sebas is running into 4 heroes, but he had a plan, which was to escape.
Oh, and this is eventually going to be probably the eggs. Oh, I
hear a Poison Nova, yes. For Pakaz. Pakaz starts to morph, but the Poison Nova now with 10% damage hurts him a fair amount. Waveform in a second. The Searing Chains, but the Avalanche saves him, and in fact, he actually still wants to fight this. Rolling Thunder will miss. They go for the Ember regardless with the Telekinesis. Thanks to the Chakram stolen by Matthew, they're capable of bringing him down. As Draken tries to run away, does have the Timber Chain to make it back safely. Dark Mago realizing it's no time to farm Cabals, it's time to go back to your base.
It is time to get back, but a very, very good fight there for Thunder, who fight into the percentage-based damage. Yes, I always forget about that these days. But they did change the ulti on Veno a couple of patches ago to also have this a bit of percentage-based damage. Doesn't really do too much there versus the man who can still morph around as needed. They're continuing to get a bit aggressive now. Inkswell target is going to be for Draken, but Matthew stealing a nice little bit of Timber Chain. He's going to be able to create the distance. Draken, careful here. Good Chakram here. Will slow a couple of heroes, but Sacred is easily out, but it's going to be Dark Mago and Pakaz who counter-initiate and pick off the Ember Spirit. An aggressive tip from Panda onto Sebas, as it's Thunder who chase for more. Tempest on the run, at least is Slythin, who is going to catch up to Matthew. I suppose it's Matthew will pass him by. Sacred, yep, easily avoiding there the next Inkswell. As Draken cannot get away. They throw a stun at him there, courtesy of the telekinesis of Matthew, and he does get a Timber Chain away, but Sacred to chase, out of mana here until the boots give Draken at least another Timber Chain. Katyu doing what he can, but he is completely run down by Dark Mago. As Timber Saw, once again, out of mana, Soul Ring, another Timber Chain, the second Rolling Thunder of the fight, and finally it's Pakaz who will pick off the tanky Timber Saw. Unbelievable.
Yep. What a destruction by Thunder Awaken, as per usual, right? Once the lanes break apart for Thunder Awaken, they start chasing you all over the map, they showcase their strength in the mid-game, and they're kind of unstoppable. They went for the right items to stop the right power spikes here for Tempest, and now you're left with APL that just needs to get online fast, and unfortunately, he's not.
He's not. He is almost there, as he does avoid at least the Ogre Bruiser stun. This recipe is about 950, as I recall. 1050, pardon me. It's got RTX enabled on that card. But it is Thunder who continue to be aggressive, especially as I believe the Gale misses. Oh, that's a big jump onto 2 as well. Disarm Sebas, continue to stick around as it is Katyu from the high ground who finds a couple of heroes with the Poison Nova. So Thunder on the retreat here. This Panda is going to be able to avoid the Timber Chain. Matthew, however, not as lucky, will be cut down by the Whirling Death. So far, he's the only loss, but Thunder at least pushed back away, giving the time for PL to farm up his first item, Diffusal, now on his way.
Radiant structures are
Yeah,
fortified.
Diffusal. I honestly would say, Richie, that you might want to go for an early shard and see if you can play around that soulbind timing, and maybe that will give you some chances of fighting this. Shard also helps you farm a little bit faster,
I'd
right?
agree.
As opposed to going for the Montez soon. Otherwise, I feel like they're gonna run you over, especially Pakaz right now.
Yeah, and it's not that great of a Manta style game here. The disarm against the Pangos is pretty decent, right? Or dispelling the disarm, I should say. But other than that, I think, like, you know, if you're caught by a telekinesis, you don't care about Manta dodging the Fate Bolt, so you're not going to be able to do it, you know? So I think I agree with you. Just some more tempo from these guys so they can get online. Sebas is nowhere near still his Maelstrom, unfortunately for him. Is going to be a bit of a pain point. Katyu as well, at least with a very impactful ult there, I should say. It did force back the rest of Thunder to give some space. But yeah, the items are just not coming online for them as quickly as they need, as there's Dark Mongo just collecting another free kill.
Nice.
That is off the back of his fresh Echo Saber.
Yep. And with this, once we continue with this three cores from Thunder Awaken being top of the net worth, Pango being a more useful core right now than the PL, Ember non-existent, we can say, this whole game.
Much.
I don't think it's Sebas' fault. Oh, as Sebas now gets caught out, there's the toss, maximizes the stun time, and that allows them to finish off this poor Ember Spirit.
Blink reveal from Sacred, but it's onto pretty much the exact target they would have wanted. There is a Fortify available for Tempest. The good news, at least, is that Tempest don't really do Roche too quickly. A bit of minus armor here. Not even max, though, on lucky shots, and I don't believe anyone else is going for a Deso or even a Medallion. Might be some small consideration, but honestly, at the rate that Thunder are currently accelerating their gap over Tempest, it might not be necessary. They could just kind of continue running this game over.
Kaya finished on Tempest. Oh, Kaya, actually. What is he going for?
Blade? No, Kai and Sanj. Tanj.
I don't know if that's... I mean, usually you go Kaya and Sanj in a Timber when you feel like your game is like kind of decent, right? Otherwise, items like Yules and stuff get more impactful. Oh no, that Whirlwind. Oh no, that PL. They just saw him.
He does see him. He's got vision. He's got the ward.
Panda should still be fine. He still has his ultimate. Do we have Sacred with his? No, he doesn't. He just blinks over, trying to kill off Kotaro. They also find Wu in the middle. He almost dies a collateral. That's going to be Wu falling. Goodbye. Poison Nova, though, at least get used, but at the same time, they finish off poor Kotaro, and it's going to be 2 kills for free for Thunder Awaken. No place to farm for Tempest.
No place to farm, and honestly, just not the place to be farming, I would say. I think you see 2 enemy supports on that ward, and you just doppel out. You know, I just don't think it's worth trying to fight. He is, to his credit, trying to make a little bit of space for his team, definitely recognizing the state of this game and saying, I just got an item, I can't just use Diffusal to continue farming. It marginally increases his farm speed, but does at least give him some pick-off potential. Unfortunately, underestimating the response time there of Thunder Awaken, who will smoke up again. The blink forward from Dark Mago is eventually going to be able to find Slathan hiding away in the trees. Panda as well, ready to tank the tower here, and is going to collect the Gale with the Burst Demonic Shield. Sacred pushing the tower even. They're sustained a bit further here by the Dragons Gale. You'll love to see it. If you're Thunder.
Yes, if you're Thunder, if you're a Thunder fan, right? Which apparently I am. I discover every day new things about myself. Plague Ward is stolen by Matthew, which will give now a complete control over the map, as if it wasn't enough. Like, now you actually have this extra vision advantage here. Where will Tempest farm? I am curious. We said it, right? I think their draft is pretty good. I think the Ember was the weakest part. The Ember is looking like the weakest part.
Yeah.
And Tempest just can't execute at the speed that Thunder can.
I'm just really not a fan of Ember, and I've been afraid to say it for a while, but I'll say it now. I'm a bit of an Ember hater in the mid lane. I never think this hero brings
I think Ember
enough.
4 is kind of good, actually.
Sure. Ember in the mid lane. That's why I'll specify there, right? I think Ember 4 is a different playstyle to use the hero, and I'm not going to say it's unproven, but I'd like to see it tested in more even matchups.
I would agree. I don't think it's like top 4.
Sure.
Top 4 4s.
Yeah, top 4 4s.
Right.
Alvaro's list of top 4 4s. Number 1, Ember Spirit.
4.
4.
Anyway, yeah, I would agree with you, but I still think there's more place there, because I think there's use of Sleight of Fist Searing Chains. This doesn't scale with farm these days, right? So it feels like, why are you, like, Maelstrom? Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, everyone saw the buffs too, you know, oh, wow, I farm even faster now with Sleight of Fist at the start of 731.
It is good.
And it's good. But when the first item is Maelstrom,
yeah.
And for how squishy, and to be honest, how counterable you can be. I mean, we just went through a patch.
There's a kill on the Venom.
Oh, yes, there is. We just went through a patch of probably the, whoa. That's a DD rune for you.
Yep.
Wow, he was 100 HP last time I clicked bottom. I mean,
did he have Flame Guard on? Can we check if it was on cooldown?
Yes,
No, he didn't have
not.
Flame Guard on. Okay.
It wouldn't have really mattered, honestly.
Oh my goodness, more physical than magical damage. Hello.
Wouldn't have really mattered. Yeah, that's DD coming in handy there.
Tempest is no longer the tankiest hero in this game.
Oh, goodness gracious, it's because this guy's terrifying.
Bakaz even turned into Amar for a second. I mean, sorry, Draken for a second there.
I saw that one. Oh, nice little roll around. Unfortunately, the defusals better from Sacred with the inhibits. Matthew is well nearby. They only can take a couple seconds to clear the PL illusions before they get the real one. 25-2 Abo. This one is looking pretty rough.
This is the Hail Berry build for Kotada, right? Like he's thinking, right, they didn't build Maelstrom. They don't have any way to deal with me. So if I can just build Heart, I'll be unkillable.
And he's right. It's a big if.
Yeah, it's a very big if.
It's a big if because, again, we've seen the rate at which Thunder closed the map. Matthew now with the first item Blink on Rubik, which tends to be very bad. But in winning games feels very good as there's Dark Mago with his own Blink forward and a kill onto Slaven. In the meantime, I said they didn't have tower damages early. That is still kind of true, but now with an Iascati Mantis style, this Morphling in full Agi mode is hits like a truck.
Didn't go for defusal himself. Interesting. He's like, well, if PL can't play good PL, I'll teach him. I'll just do my PL.
Oh.
Honestly, I like it. It is, once again, the way you're supposed to counter PL with Morphling, right? You just turn into him and you abuse him. Yep. And Fusel Blade is as strong on Pango as it is on Morphling this game.
Very true. Panda as well, with my particular favorite item in the game right now, at least first item on the ABBA. You just straight up rush this Holy Locket.
I love it too.
It's so strong here.
Very good.
Eventually, the build that Panda has shown at least us a couple of times, especially against Faceless Voids, is simply rush Ags. It ends up being, with the 15 talent taken, about an 80% damage reduction if you can't burst them fast enough. And fast enough because, of course, the Miscoil still has to travel.
Yeah, that's true.
Super good.
Okay,
oh no, Sebas, he's just dead, I think.
No way. They can't control him this well, can they? Oh my god.
Wow.
Sacred. Showcasing why he's a Pango spammer, and Darkbabo once more. He doesn't want to toss him. He decides Slavin gets to live today. Never mind.
Nope.
Sacred made sure that that's not going to happen.
And I mean, it's just, this game just feels impossible. I mean, this is normally where, you know, in pub games, you see a couple of those onto the Timbersaw, but what he's gonna do? What is he gonna do? I mean, he finally at least has the Sanj, so he can ideally tank a bit. But now it feels like he does want to try and turn this Ogre Axe into BKB. Even then, Avo, just the physical damage just seems way too high. Thunder definitely recognize that they are not snowballing, but they are the snowball, and are here ready to destroy some structures. Second lane of Barracks already down.
They're looking at their calendars. Are we in tier 4 again? Oh my god, I didn't know we could do Death Ball again.
I mean, they made it look amazing, to be honest. And I have to, the
Avalanche.
Sebas
should be able to get away. He has Remnants. They caught him with telekinesis, Matthew. Too quick on the draw.
Yep, and that time he did go off the Flame Guard. They just die way too quickly. Tempest on the verge of being fountain farmed here already 24 minutes into the game.
What is Darkmao doing? He doesn't even care, doesn't respect the fountain. There's the Ember being used more effectively by Bakaz as they go for the final kill onto Draken. And that should be GG for Thunder.
It should be. It should be. But
Tempest wants to fight till the end, alright.
They are. Respect for them for that, as I believe Heart is almost done. Almost, as in he's 1,000 gold away, but unfortunately Thunder, they recognize its defense of the Ancients, and they will be straight on into the throne exposed. No one back to defend, as there's the buyback from the Timbersaw. Smokes out of the base to get out a bit faster, but he's only going to need Dark Mago that much faster. Big ulti out from the Venomancer, but Panda healing through it. Pakaz still morphing into the strength, now fighting through it. Down goes Wu as well, as Sebas forced away from his own base. Pakaz on a double kill. Everyone on Thunder looking healthy as the throne falls, and it's a stomp in game 1.
Yeah, what a destruction. Thunder Awaken looking much better, honestly, the Tempest. I feel like in terms of draft, yes, we can argue about the strengths of Ember and PL in this meta, and maybe Veno 5 also, but that is only a situational thing, right? I think overall...